बोल मेरे श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। बोल सांचे दरबार की जय। आओ मेरे मालिक की प्यारी संगत, हम एक नए अध्याय की तरफ बढ़ते हैं जो श्री स्वरूप दर्शन में ही अंकित है। शुरू करते हैं। Emergence of a divine saint. The Creator has subjected the affairs of the universe to some special regularity, laws from which nothing is exempt. Through the universal laws as formulated by that Supreme Master and Lord have not undergone even the slightest change. Nature continues to run its affairs as usual and will continue to do so successfully for all times to come. The universal laws have remained unchanged and will remain so. Had the Almighty Creator not ordained so, our dear Earth would have been burnt to ashes after colliding against some or other planet in this firmament which abounds with innumerable stars and celestial bodies. The more and the more the scientists, in their hot pursuit of the astronomical knowledge, endeavor to unravel the mysteries of the creation, the more overwhelmed they are by a deep sense of awe and wonder. And in such a state, they feel impelled to proclaim to the world that they have not been able to effect as much control and discipline in any sphere of their activity, in spite of the tremendous progress made by their science and technology, as has been brought about by the invisible hands of the Creator in this vast and fathomless creation. The master of this creation has regulated life in such a disciplined manner that not only the sun, the moon, and the earth, but also the unheard, unknown celestial stars find themselves bound by this arrangement, and they will continue to remain under this discipline till the apocalypse or the end of this world. The sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. The moon continues to move around the earth. The night is followed by the day, the heat by the cold, and the sun by the shadows, the autumn by the spring, and the roses together with the thorns. All are the product of this discipline inherent in the eternal nature. Similarly, the evil and the good are also the part of such a divine system. There is also another law of eternal nature. Just as the dark night is followed by the rise of daylight, in the same manner, the mercy of the Master is stirred as and when the dark evil begins to grow and the truth begins to decline, and the falsehood and the irreligion have an upper hand. Precisely at such critical times, the all merciful Lord opens his doors, showering his blessings so that the faith triumphs, the truth holds on, and the evil is nipped. He then either dispatches a great divine soul to the earth from the heavens, or he himself assumes a human form in the tradition of avatars. The veracity of this eternal law of nature has been established not only by Vedas, the Upanishads, and other holy scriptures, but also by the sages and seers all over the world. Even the great prophets and the visionaries who have realized God, like Nabi, the Prophet Rasul, the Buddha, and the Tirthankars, whose disciplines formed themselves into different sects and creeds. All of them, both bowed their heads before this eternal truth, proclaiming to the world that they were not giving it a new credo or religion. Rather, they were endeavoring to bring the people gone astray back to the path of truth and righteousness. That Lord Gautam Buddha was not the first Buddha. He had been preceded by several Buddhas, is borne out by the Jatak tales of Bodhisattva. Similarly, Lord Mahavira was not the first and the last Jainacharya. It was Adi Tirthankar Bhagwan Rishabh Dev Ji in the tradition of the Vedic Maharishis. Lord Jesus Christ asserted many times, I have not brought any new message to deliver, there having been great seers who have delivered the very same message earlier too. I have come simply to reaffirm it. The prophet Musa declared, I am no Nabi. I have come only to affirm what the several Nabis and prophets have said earlier. Prophet Hazrat Muhammad revealed this truth, saying, the light that kindles my revelations is the very same divine light as has appeared several times in the several forms earlier. Mahaprabhu Gaurang, Sant Kabir, Guru Nanak, Swami Dayanand, Paramhans Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekanand, and all others also supported this view, as aptly expressed by Guru Gobind Singh in these words. We, the humble followers of the Master, were enveloped in the serene bliss of his presence when the sin and the irreligion, the conceit and the vices held their sway over the world, and then the Supreme Father ordained us to descend to the world in order to spread the message of truthful conduct in all ages, in all countries and nations. The dedicated saints have been appearing from time to time in order to uphold the truth and rejuvenate the essence of religion. As and when such souls came into being, the wounded and sapless mankind expressed its heartfelt joy, laying all it had at their feet out of love and devotion. And soon the once despondent mankind resumed its journey on the path of religion under their banners. The world history is witness as to how the world had to traverse difficult paths and how it cried in pain, treading those paths and praying for redemption. Only then the merciful Lord condescended to listen to their woeful pleas and then to send a harbinger of spring in this autumn afflicted stark garden of mankind. Giving a voice to this inner agony, Iqbal, an eminent Urdu poet, has rightly said, हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदावर पैदा, meaning thereby that it takes thousands of years for a real seed to be born to illuminate the garden with inner light, where the blinded flora keeps mourning over its loss of sight despite having got the eyes seemingly. Almost over a century ago, His Holiness, the most revered Sadguru, Deva Shri 1008 Shri Swami Swarupanand Ji Maharaj came to live in this earthly abode of the Holy Land of India for its spiritual upliftment. It was as if God had manifested himself in the form of man, just as an emperor with a large entourage of attendants sometimes likes to do certain chores with his own hands. Similarly, the creator of this universe sometimes does the human form in order to re-establish true dharma and rekindle the dwindling flame of faith and devotion. The master who transformed pebbles into gems and jewels, the dust particles into the sun and the moon, the water drops into the precious pearls, and who, like a wizard, transformed clay into fragrant shapes of beauty, and who, like a true artist, created exquisite creations blending the colorless water and air with the lightless lamps of clay. When the very same master decided to assume the human form, then the nature, with her immense beauty and charm, grew restive to reveal herself to the vast manifestation along with the master. When the all omnipotent creator of all forms and hues adopted the mortal frame of our most revered and beloved Sadguru Dev Ji, the same very frame became the symbol of everlasting tapasya or dedication. Having sought the light of the world from Sri Paramhans Dayalji, our revered Sri Sadguru Devji fixed the Sharanagati tenet of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as the ultimate goal of his life. He surrendered his all at the feet of the Guru and achieved the glory of renunciation and sacrifice to the utmost astonishment of all. Not one or two, but hundreds and thousands of men and women underwent a spiritual metamorphosis at his hands. These devotees were then ushered into sannyasa and thus started a great spiritual movement in India. Sri Sadguru Dev Ji's Sharanagati wheel was similar to Lord Buddha's Dharma Chakra. Working this wheel, Sri Sadguru Dev Ji transformed social and individual life into a living example of selfless sacrifice. After Buddha, his great mission is similar to the mission undertaken by Adi Shankaracharya. It seems both the Buddha and the Shankara had merged together in the form of our revered deity Sadguru Devji. He had a harmonious blend of the renunciation of Chaitanya Dev, the compassion of Paramhans Ramakrishna, the dedication of Guru Nanak, and the devotion to the Guru as held by Swami Dayanand Ji. Sri Sadguru Dev Ji's was a divine form besides being a born Yogeshwara. His whole life is a tale of miracles. The frontier area of the northwest is a terrible land of brutal Pathans who promptly take to the gun and the sword over trifles. It is the land where men's blood was cheaper than animals. In such a horrible land, the divine and the miraculous light of the great soul appeared in human form. It was as if a rose had burst forth out of a rock. It was as if an angel of love and non-violence had come into being amongst the demons of hatred. Was it? In any way less than a miracle. His vanishing at the age of a few months was a mystery which the common mortals fail to comprehend. It remained buried in the heart of nature alone. The child prodigy astonishingly drew towards the frontier from afar Sri Paramhans Dayalji, who had been leading the life of a mendicant wandering thousands of miles away in Bihar freely. like the whips of wine and waves of ocean. It seemed as if two celestial powers had descended on the earth at different places, merging into each other at the appointed time. This holy confluence of the divine do spread the message of spiritualism, not only in India but also in the far flung areas of Sri Lanka in the south and Nepal in the north. It was another miracle that though Sri Paramhans Dayalji was somewhat reserved and kept aloof from the eyes of the world, his spiritual years brought about a complete transformation by giving sannyas diksha to countless number of men and women and preaching divine truths. This gigantic task in the wake of what Sri Paramhans Dayalji had done was comparable to what Saint John had accomplished after Jesus Christ or what Moda Glani did after Lord Buddha and what Maharishi Dayanand did after Swami Vijayanandji and Swami Vivekanand after Paramhans Ramakrishna. The reincarnation theory holds special significance amongst Sanatan Hindus. The soul is a part of the Supreme Soul and is called Jiva, the born one, due to its inherent characteristics. The born ones find themselves helplessly enmeshed in the cycle of birth and death, owing to their attachment to the material world. They always remain afflicted by three kinds of feverish ailments: physical, metaphysical, and spiritual. Adi Brahma appears as a human incarnate from time to time in order to liberate the born ones from the bonds of worldly attachments. Lord Shiva says to Parvati in Sri Ramcharitmanas, जब जब होई धर्म कै हानि बाढ़ई असुर अधम अभिमानी करही अनीति जाय नहीं बरनी सीदहि विप्र धेनु सुर धरनी तब तब धरि प्रभु विविध शरीरा हरहि कृपा निधि सज्जन पीरा. That means whenever true faith declines and the increasing tribe of the lowly, the egoistic, and the wicked begins to perpetrate indescribable atrocities, whenever Brahmins, cows, gods, and the earth feel tortured at such dark times, the all compassionate Lord divinely appears in diverse human forms to alleviate the suffering of the good and the gentle ones. Numerous are the reasons for the reincarnation theory as pronounced by Shruti, Bhagavati, and sages and saints. The all blissful Brahman assumes birth on this earthly abode in some mundane medium. The God loving saints continue to work for the alleviation of the suffering of the mankind through their supernatural deeds, and for this very purpose they assume human form. They help the people enmeshed in the dark webs of the senses and the body organs to rise higher from the lower levels and know the inner reality of the self, which is the ultimate goal of man's life. The human form of Sri Sadguru Dev Ji was like the ever burning sun of Brahman knowledge that lost no time in spreading out the knowledge of self through countless rays and thus reaching out to millions of the lost souls, liberating them from the shackles of worldly attachments. All blissful, all perceptive, his holiness, the most revered Shri 1008 Sadgurudev Swami Swarupanand Ji Maharaj came into being on this holy land for the elevation and upliftment of the world. The real purpose of his coming has been rightly explained in the following words. कली कुटिल जीवन निस्तारण को स्वामी संत रूप धर के आत्म को दर्शावत मल धोए तन मन के. That means he appeared in the guise of a saint and Swami in order to counter the dark and evil forces of life through self-knowledge and purification of the body and the mind. जय सच्चिदानंद जी. हम आज का अध्याय यहाँ पर समाप्त करते हैं. आशा करती हूँ आपको ये पसंद आया होगा. आप जितना हो सके गुरु महाराज जी के लिए ये अध्याय आगे से आगे शेयर करें और इसको मैक्सिमम लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करें. धन्यवाद.